In this video, you will learn how to configure a wireless router step by step. So these are the following steps that you need to follow. So please take a screenshot on the list shown on the screen so you can use them as your guide. So the first step is to connect our device to our wireless router. So you can connect to your router either through the LAN cable or via Wi-Fi. In this video, we will connect our device via Wi-Fi. So we need the Wi-Fi name and the password. If a wireless router has not been configured before, you can find the Wi-Fi name and password on a sticker located at the back of the router. So the Wi-Fi name is the one that says SSID, for example, TP-Link_5520, and the Wi-Fi password is the one that says wireless password or PIN. Now let's connect our device to our wireless router via Wi-Fi. Let's look for the Wi-Fi name, which is the TP-Link5520, and let's type the password. So click connect, type the password, and after typing the password, click next and wait until you see the connected status. Now that we're connected to our wireless router, let's proceed to our next step. The next step is to access our wireless router settings. And to do that, we need to get the router IP address or URL, which can also be found at the back of the router. For example, in this router, the URL is tplinkwifi.net. Other routers are using IP address like 192.168.0.1. You may also check the IP address of the router on your computer. So on the search bar, type CMD, then open Command Prompt Application, type ipconfig, press enter, and look for the default gateway, and that is the IP address of the router, 192.168.0.1. Once you know the IP address of the router, open any browser like Google Chrome and type the IP address and press enter. After entering the router IP address, you will now see the router login page. Now take note that the router login page may look different depending on the router brand and model. For example, this TP-Link router is asking for username and password, in which usually the username is admin, and this is the login page of a D-Link router, and this is the login page of a Tenda router, and the last example I have here is the login page of a PLDT router. Now to log into your router, you need the router username and password. But for this router's login page, it only asks for a password. Now the question is, where can we get the router username and password? So here are the 4 ways to get the router username and password. First, if someone has already set up the router, ask for the password from the network administrator or from the previous user. Second, some routers have default username and password indicated on the sticker at the back of the router. For example, this one that says username admin and password admin. Now take note that a router password is different from a Wi-Fi password. Third option is if there's no username and password at the back of the router and it's your first time to log in or access the router settings, you will be asked to create or set up your own or new password. And when creating a router password, please make sure that it is different from your Wi-Fi password. Use combination of letters, numbers, and symbols and keep it safe or save it somewhere else. So please don't forget your password as it is used to access your router settings. And the last option, if the router has already been set up and the previous user forgot the password and there's no password also at the back of the router, is to reset the router. And there is a separate video for resetting a router. Now assuming that we follow the option 1, which is to ask the previous user for the password, let us now log into our router. After successfully logging in, you will now see the router homepage, also called as the dashboard, where you can access and manage the router settings. Now let's proceed to step 3. One of the first and most important settings that we need to configure is changing the Wi-Fi name and password. So regardless of the router brand or model, simply look for the wireless settings or menu. That's where you can modify or change the Wi-Fi name or SSID and password. SSID stands for Service Set Identifier, or it is also known as Wi-Fi Network Name. Now, remove the old Wi-Fi name or SSID and enter your own name. For example, I'm gonna name mine as Juralex Channel Wi-Fi. Under Security, make sure it is set to WPA or WPA2. Now next, enter or create your own Wi-Fi password. Choose a strong password with letters, numbers, and symbols to keep your network secure. Please take note of the new password that you just created. After entering your new password, click the Save button. After changing the Wi-Fi name and password, your device will be disconnected from the network. To reconnect, look for the newly created Wi-Fi name or SSID and enter the new password that you just set. For example, I will look for my new Wi-Fi name, which is Juralex Channel Wi-Fi, and I will enter the new password that I just created. Then wait again until you see the connected status. Now we're done changing the Wi-Fi name or SSID and password. Let's proceed to other important router configurations. These include changing the router admin password, modifying the IP address range, and adding MAC addresses to whitelist or blacklist, or also known as MAC address filtering. These configurations will be covered in the next video.